Let's create a scatter plot to determine if this data shows a linear or a quadratic relationship. So here's the data I want to enter into my calculator to make my scatter plot. I've got the years since 1997 up here and the number of alternative fueled vehicles in thousands as my y. So let's make our calculator do the scatter plot for us to determine if it's linear or quadratic. So to put in my data, I'm going to select stat and then edit. And I've already gone ahead and typed in my data. Notice my x's are in L1, my y's are in L2. So if you need to pause the video and get your data typed in, go ahead and do that. And let's go ahead now that you've done that, hopefully, and determine what our scatter plot looks like. So the easiest way to do this is to press y equals. Make sure you don't have any equations typed in, but go up to plot 1 and press enter. That'll turn on the scatter plot. And then to adjust our window so that we see exactly what we want to see, there's a really cool feature under zoom. If you select zoom and then option 9, zoom stat, what that'll do is automatically adjust your window so we can see the scatter plot we want to see. So based on what I'm seeing here, I can see that this is definitely more of a linear type scatter plot than a quadratic one, which would look like a parabola. So I'm going to say that this is more of a linear relationship. Knowing that, I can now use my calculator to also find the equation of best fit. So now that I know it's linear, go back to stat, and this time go to calculate. And the two that we'll be looking at in these lessons are the option 4, linear regression, which we'll use now, and then option 5, the quadratic regression, and there's other regressions as well. So let's go ahead and select option 4. We know it's more of a line. This screen will pop up, or if you have an older calculator, it'll just wait for you to press enter. With this, just press enter a few times, or go down to calculate and press enter. And what it'll do, it'll run the regression for us, and there's the a and the b value that fit into this y equals ax plus b form. We agreed in class we'll round to 2 decimal places, so there's everything rounded to 2 decimal places for this equation. Now that we have that, what's cool about scatter plots and regression equations is we can use them to make predictions. So let's assume that this trend continues and we still get this many or we have this relationship as time goes on. So let's make a prediction based on the year 2020 and figure out how many hybrid vehicles or alternative fueled vehicles we'll have in the year 2020. Well, the first thing I had to realize is that X is not 2020. X, remember, stood for the years since 1997. So the year 2020 is 23 years after after 1997. So I took 23 and I plugged it in for X. X was an input, the years in this problem. So I just simply typed this in, the 40.27 times 23 plus 262.83, and that's where I came up with this answer of about 1,220.84. It's kind of weird to say 1,000,000. I guess that number would really be a million, but I threw that 1,000 on there because I remember this was measured in thousands. One thing I can do too, just to see that this equation does fit the data I use, I can graph this and see that it hits as many points as possible and it really fits that data really well. So I've gone ahead and typed in my equation into y equals, and now when I hit graph, it'll show me that line as well as the scatter plot we found, and I can see that, yeah, that line is a really good fit for that data.